Hi, thanks for joining me. I am Sandra Brown with the Institute for Relational Harm Reduction and Public Pathology Education. That's a big, old, long agency title in which that name may not sound familiar to you. But what may sound familiar, or you have seen, is the book Women Who Love Psychopaths: Inside the Relationships of Inevitable Harm with Psychopaths, Sociopaths, and Narcissists. And the reason this book is important, this is the third edition. The first edition and the second edition, which had slightly different covers, was the seminal or first book that introduced the concept of the intimate partner relationships and dynamics and harm and aftermath of narcissistic and psychopathic relationships. So this book has been very instrumental in launching what has now become known as the narcissistic abuse field. And so as the person who wrote the first book that has created this huge firestorm of information and survivor grassroots work in awareness to get people aware of this type of abuse, I thought I'd weigh in on some issues pertaining to the original theory that I studied and talked about in the book and in our website, a lot of our articles about the original understanding of narcissistic and psychopathic abuse, the dynamics, and the trauma. So I have spent 30 years approximately treating survivors, which is why I wrote the book about this that has become a well-known sort of new genre of counseling. And as the person who sort of launched with this book, I thought I would do a series on what was covered in the book, but also some of the truths and theories and foundations of this genre, because what I see out there now is not anything like what the theories and foundations of narcissistic and psychopathic abuse was when I wrote about it. It's just like anything else, sort of like playing that old game from when we were kids, telephone, and you listen to something, then you tell someone else, and someone tells someone else. Honestly, now with what I see out there and read out there, I don't even recognize my work out there. It's gotten so convoluted and so far away from the research and the science and the theory that launched all of this. And so I really feel like I need to speak up about what I meant, and not only in treatment, but what I meant about these pathological relationships that are now called narcissistic abuse. So I'm going to be doing a series and putting my 2 cents in, because it was my 2 cents that launched all of this. So I'd like for people to get back on track about what this was really about, because there's so much that's being said and propagated that is not connected at all to what I came to know after 30 years of not only treating the survivors, but doing the research that is behind the aftermath, the relationship dynamics, and even who is targeted. And so I just think it's time we get back to our roots, what we do know. We hold the only data collections, historical data collections of real information about this field, which is what I used when we wrote about this. So I hope you'll check back, especially if you're interested in the real stuff, what I meant, and what are the principles behind narcissistic and psychopathic abuse. So hope you'll join me back, and I will see you then. So this has been Sandra Brown with the Institute. If you want to check out our website, it's saferelationshipsmagazine.com. I'll be back. Thanks.